His armor did get nerfed. I think he actually goes to negative with a Slaughter ult.
With level 3, yeah, that makes sense. He can kill A really, really easily too. He doesn't have to worry about defensive measures there.
It opens up Roshan too, really early for Betboom. Like Pure gets even just a Battle Fury, and they can just walk into the Roche.
Yeah, I mean, PA Slardar in general, this is a classic combo. Name a more devastating hero with minus armor than a PA.
Yeah.
And this is pretty incredible. And then as a mid, it functions as an additional frontliner too, along with the Kunkka. So I think this rounds out their draft quite nicely. I do question, since the Dream League that we saw Slardar starting to get picked as a mid, when the Water Patch came out, we questioned it a lot as a hero. If it falls off, if you're not snowballing and getting kills, you can't farm like you used to be able to, because the bash doesn't do more damage to creeps. So it is risky. This is GPK. Like this guy's supposed to win mid.
Then, Gunnar, do you think there's a Miro build that may be more compatible now that you have a Slardar as your mid laner? Do you want to maybe go like AC Radiance on the Kunkka? What do you want to do on an offlane Kunkka?
I think he just goes the standard build, like the Blade Mail Pipe. If you can survive the Tiny initiation, the Luna ult, they have like these two big buttons they click, and sure, Tiny's gonna get a second spell, set of spells off, but it doesn't really matter. If you live through it, Pure should be able to carry the fight if it goes long enough. And so he doesn't need to scale. I think GPK is gonna do enough, and it's almost like a 4 protect 1, but everything's buffing the 1. It's not just like these 4 guys are useless, the 1 guy is to carry it. These 4 guys are making Pure carry the game, and they're all going to work together, and it's going to be... I really like the draft.
Purge, you feeling one team or the other for this one?
I think the AA combos are decent here, but they looked a little bit harder to execute than I would have liked. Whereas on the other side, the PA Slardar combo and everything else in there just feels like they're very smooth and well-rounded, like a very traditional setup. So I feel like they're going to have slightly better times kicking fights.
We'll talk about the ease of execution and which teams are able to use that to their advantage and which ones are able to maybe go off the beaten path a bit more and take advantage of it. And it seems like Betboom team want to do a little bit more experimentation with this last pick. So let's get into our last elimination series of the night.
Welcome, Raleigh, to the final series of the night. Betboom versus Parivision, an Eastern European clash on the East Coast. One of these two teams is going to end up in top 3 here at ESL One Raleigh, and it's fitting that this intra-regional matchup is going to feature both a little bit of experimentation and some iconic hero player combinations. Isn't that right, Avery?
You're talking about the 9 class Slark?
I am talking about the 9 class Slark. This has been a menace the entire tournament.
He is probably the only player in the world right now with the confidence to run this, and I think there's a lot of teams out there that would just straight call this trash. You know, they're not going to say it on camera, but in the hallway of the hotel or whatever, hey, what do you think about the 9 class Slark? You think you guys are going to play that? Hell no. That's the style, right? It's him bringing his own unique twist to the game and making it work, and it does give you something unique out of the whole entire hero pool of heroes, which is the dewarding.
Yep.
Like, this hero's a monster in the Vision game. If you take the fights at nighttime, if you deward the map, set your team up, he can do a lot without having to do anything at all. Just set the fight up through the Vision mechanisms, and that is something that Parivision take advantage of because they are a huge wave push team. There's a reason they've been playing this offlane Wraith King. It's for the lane show. That is my big concern this game if you are a Betboom fan. How do you deal with that mid game when all these waves start getting pushed in? It hits nighttime, you have Luna, you have Slark, Tiny's gonna jump you. How do you get the vision? How do you get the lanes in? How do you set up a team fight in that 15 to 30 minute mark? I think the lanes can be okay for them. I think the late game looks fine. That mid game is gonna be where Parivision try and strike hard.
And that's why it's so important for Betboom with their heroes and their play style to dominate this offlane matchup, right? They need to be able to walk away with the win. They've already managed to stop some of the little things that Parivision likes to do. 9 class, you know, starting the very first wave, trying to body block the enemy creep wave so it ends up in a tower. They managed to prevent that, but now 9 class is able to get the second creep wave pulled back next to the tower. They just gotta kind of constantly be dealing with these little tricks and nuisances that 9 class brings to the table, and just try and take a straight up fight that they should be able to win with the silencer.
Nine Class building some stacks early. I'm kind of surprised Pure didn't take this wave behind the tier 1 and just reset it back there. Look for a small camp, D-ward, or pull. Just maximize the XP here, because generally Silencer does suffer against these lane pull shenanigans, but PA is a hero that can connect pretty easily. So even if that wave gets caught in the middle of nowhere and you end up with a double lane wave meet situation, the PA can connect to where the fight is very quickly, and you are against a double melee lane. I would not be surprised if Betboom come out pretty advantageous here, and they should be. I think they're going into this game thinking, we're going to win the safe lane. The mid lane's going to be a wash, but you have Slardar. He's going to do fine.
Right.
And this Kunkka just pushes it in versus Luna.
So all around, you're expecting some even trades, though Betboom getting a little aggressive there onto Ducalis. Doesn't see an opening for a kill. Save takes a little bit of damage in return. His double range lane. Luna was a bit of a surprise to me. I didn't think we were going to see that much more of this hero for the rest of the tournament, to be honest.
No, this hero's making a resurgence. I think some of it is some of these drafts, these teams go to the last pick. They need a carry and what's left in the pool. You're looking at 7 or 8 carries banned. The other team took 1. There's not that many strong carries in the meta.
Yeah.
I think part of why we saw Team Spear bust out the carry Medusa is because, well, what else are you going to play? May as well just play a carry. It's still okay. And Luna going to make a comeback here. You have to respect the aura buffing up the damage, and you have to respect the ball with this hero. I think that's where the hero still shines. If you can 5-man with Luna, put some auras behind her, give her some frontliners, she will deal the DPS. And it gives you an Ancient farmer. If you look at this Parivision lineup, who else was clearing Ancient stacks in this game?
Nobody. Betboom not feeling like they can contest the Lotus, so DM will have that extra bit of regen going his way on the their off lane. Same time, Betboom did manage to get it from their off lane. A little bit of clash here on the DM. I mean, the damage certainly builds up with the Silencer, but he is now running low on resources, out of mana entirely, so no more of those glaives going to be thrown around to harass DM.
This is the problem with the early glaives. You can get the harass, but if you don't get the kill, you just run out of mana.
Yeah.
And that Lotus steal for DM is huge on this lane, because they're getting stick charges off all these dagger throws as well. Double stick on this lane early for Parivision. They're trying to regen it back up. They are surviving this lane. It's not pretty, but they are surviving it. The bigger question mark for me is what is happening mid. GPK is just putting it on a masterclass again in the CS battle. He is doubling up no one early here, 25-3 to the 12-1 on this Tiny. No one feeling the pain of this melee on melee matchup.
GPK, ever since, you know, like, he was always known for his excellent laning skills as a mid laner, but since rejoining the Betboom squad, I feel like he has hit another peak as a mid laner. He really has been taking it to the best mid laners in the world, and very often coming out on top.
He has been winning the matchups he's supposed to win by a larger margin.
Yes.
And making these even ones into his favor. And anytime that happens, it gives your team a huge advantage in the early game.
Big punish game for sure, as he continues there. No one
just can't
bash
lane
after
her.
bash, man. He can't stand it, especially with the, you know, the no armor that Tiny is rocking.
I think this is a very favorable lane for the Slardar mid. The early Blight Orb going into this Tiny without the armor in the river. Very tough for no one to trade against, but it is rare you see Tiny get out CS this hard on some of those early waves. Just the base damage on this hero is absurd.
Yeah, he's almost doubling up on the CS and may see an opportunity for a kill soon if he keeps on bringing no one to about that half HP marker.
We will hit the nighttime here.
Whip goes down to Ducalis. That's going to be your first blood for the taking. Save managed to pick that one up. And looks like a little bit of courier sniping for 9 class happening on the other side of the map at the same time.
If I'm Parivision right now, I do not think I'm happy with this static lane setup. If anything, I maybe want to move the Slark top, look for the gank with the Luna. Very strong tri-lane hero, or try and bail out mid with a toss back, but this Slardar's dominating the lane so hard.
I mean, are you willing to leave the Wraith King alone in lane,
Yeah, that's
though? He's
another
just going to
issue.
get demolished by a PA silencer.
This is the puzzle right now for Parivision. Do you try and break down this laning phase, or you try and just weather the storm? Look for the Wisdom Shrine and then pick up the pace after that. As no one, he is getting hounded mid-save, looking for the rotation. Corrosive Haze already online, where this Tiny, he's still waiting for his ult. Would love that bonus armor right now.
Yeah, and he should be able to get it as long as he plays a little passive here. Maybe gets it off the kill on his save, who picks up the Invis Rune, still inside the Sentry range though, and will be brought down. Now he's got the level 6. Now, he is in Slardar's realm though, in the water, but GPK opts not to chase him too much further.
That's a big rotation out of Ducalis. Like, that's huge for no one. He does not get pressured with all that minus armor. He gets to his ult, helps balance it out a little bit, and just equalizes that XP difference. Feels like a small thing, but was pretty big for what was happening in this mid lane.
Yep. And you were right about 9class making some moves. He does come to the mid lane as well, but
he's not doing anything.
Yeah, he's just blatantly showing himself, and that does kind of leave DM bit out in the cold and rain here as he is getting absolutely nothing in lane, but that's kind of Parivision's go-to move.
Yeah, it's a sacrificial offlane. This is an offlane that's going to pay it off later. The Slark will pay it back eventually with the team fighting, the vision, the map presence, the shard save, and the Wraith King will eventually recover his farm by just pushing in the waves. Again, you're not too worried about where you are in this offlane. You just do not want to start to give up kills to the Phantom Assassin. Let her snowball out of control.
Yeah, speed along that Battle Fury timing. Particularly dangerous with the Orber Corrosion and level 5.
Boat already available top. Just throwing it into Satanic.
Early pickup. Dagger's going to miss though, but they do manage to land the Torrent and tame the Beast, chaining the disables a bit. Overlapping, but ultimately the damage wasn't going to be there anyway. Just a bit of harassment, I guess. 9class trying to cut some waves, but we already see that Pure and Kataomi, they're not going to let Pure do anything for free. He barely gets out in time.
That's very close. I was about to say, though, I'm a little surprised Betboom didn't rotate Kataomi top to look for that bow kill on the Luna. Anytime you get that 6 first on Kunkka, that's a dream. You're just going to bring both supports, launch the boat into the enemy carry. He's dead for sure.
Do you feel like maybe Betboom are just fixated on trying to punish that bottom lane as much as possible? They
Yeah,
want to
I almost lose. So
yeah,
it's very tempting because you're versus double melee offlane. You feel like you're beating them the whole time. You feel like you're getting a really strong advantage for your PA. You're already level 5 on Silencer. It's kind of a 5-player's dream in some way.
Yep.
And you're like, why would I leave that, right? But I think the fact you had that boat opportunity top, it go to waste. It would not require much, right? It requires Kataomi being there, throwing in some nukes. We convert on that kill, and you can go straight back bottom. The mana is a bit of an issue on this Silencer when you roam around like that.
9class looking to get some real deep vision. Slips behind the tier 1 tower and gets a high ground ward. Spot out when the Slaughter goes back to farm some of these neutrals, or the PA does later on. But as it stands right now, Betboom are not taking any steps backwards on the map. They are up 2,000 net worth off this laning phase.
We'll see if they start pushing these waves in and pressuring these towers, because there's a couple of heroes jungling right now for Parivision. Both the Luna and the Wraith King retreating to the jungle. This leaves a lot of open lane space for Betboom to take advantage of, or just some empty supports to gank, right? You see this Slark or this AA trying to take XP on the lanes. You push them off. Like this right here, I think a lot of teams would feel this is illegal, but 9class, he's just going to gobble it up. No pressure going into him.
Yeah, this is crazy that he gets this gigantic wave.
This is so nice for him. Play is going in top. They do not want to let support sit on both side lanes here while Core's jungle.
Yeah, sadly though, Parivision, they already kind of saw that this move could be coming their way. They planted a ward very early on. DeCollis even letting Betboom know, yeah, I'm aware you guys are back there. You're not going to catch me slipping.
It's the haste group for the Slaughter as well. 5 heroes top for this tower. And Parivision already abandoning it. So we'll dodge that 5-man move. Get to get bottom in as a result.
I was going to say that Betboom, not like their cores are not the best at punishing Parivision backing up and hitting jungle, because they're not very good at hitting objectives. But I guess if you bring 4 heroes to one lane, you could probably bring down a tower.
The lineup is a little slow at capitalizing on these things in the early game. The fact they're having this strong in the early game is going to bode well for them going into that mid game, which is where I think the real challenge will lie.
Yeah. And they'll get a lot more in the punish game as soon as they get that blink dagger on the Slardar, right? Because then they'll have the initiation to get behind some of these towers, find some of these heroes hitting the neutrals, and you've got the follow-up there because you got a Kunkka offlane.
And this is a game where Pure can join the fights early. Sure. You're going to have a Battle Fury PA at a very strong timing, but because you have the Corrosive Haze, this is one of those really good enablers for the Phantom Assassin to join early fights. You have extra vision, you can see where the jump is, especially if no one goes in early with the Tiny. That's the majority of the threat on Pure in this game. The second Tiny jumps anybody, the PA should have a decently free fight, as long as you just don't run into Eclipse without BKB.
And it's not like Parivision are without any rebuttal here. They do have their level 6 on DeCollis, so now that they have one of their support ultimates, the more important one I would say, they're finally going to try and make a move of their own. So they're done trying to dance away from Betboom, and they're actually going to confront their aggressors. The smoke up to the top lane.
Did scan and hit on the triangle. ignoring it, looking for anybody up here, and they'll find Save.
Oh, nice little hop there. Save is going to get some distance. They will not be able to finish him off. That was a great use of those little tricks he's got in his bag.
A nice little whoopee cushion there. He will escape a pretty heavy committal in the smoke, wasting a lot of this Tiny's time.
Yeah, frankly, that's just... I mean, there's also a little bit of luck there of just the fact that he had whoopee cushion as opposed to the other two. I mean, even the strongman's tonic wouldn't have saved you from that much damage.
You have Betboom. Yeah, they're going to make the move now. They have global available. They have boat. Pretty easy to just go on whoever's mid, and that Slaughter Blink just arrived.
Yeah, it immediately jumps onto Noah. This is perfect timing if they can get the combo with the Kunkka, which they do. With that much damage in the pullback, they easily have that kill and can put a little damage on the mid tower right away.
That's such a nice sequence for them. Instant blink, no ability to react to it if you're no one there. You get the big kill in the mid lane. You get another strongman tonic here. Another really early strong Carney classic for Save. That's really nice in the next fight. On top of that shield boom for the Slardar, you have a lot of HP to work with here. That should enable you to dive towers. Again, you're looking to ramp up this pace with the advantage GPK opened up mid. You have the blink enabler, while Parivision do not right now.
Yeah.
Take over as much of the map as you can.
I think the one thing, though, is that Parivision, they do really punish when you commit heavily like that through the split push. Betboom just got to be able to make sure they don't give up too much on the side lanes. You know Satanic is farming very efficiently through the jungle. It's a Luna after all. And the Wraith King is always pushing in that bottom lane. So Miro does a good job protecting that safe lane tower, not giving it up to DM for free with the skeleton pushes. That'll slow down his Radiance timing.
It's one of those games you wish you had Taker if you're Betboom.
Oh, yeah.
You could just put someone against this Wraith King the whole game and still be able to play it. Interesting little poke here.
Does manage to... I think he took that ancient creep, but he has to use his ult to walk away.
Just trying to get to the Luna Manta. If you can get the Luna Manta up plus the Wraith King Skellies, that's enough to stall out a lot of what's happening. Which might just prompt an early Roche here from Betboom. You do have this Slaughter PA. Pretty easy to just go in the pit, run it down if you don't think Parivision are contesting you on the map.
What would you say to, so Miro's going to go for Pipe second item, Blade Mount Pipe. Not terribly surprising, but what would you say to a Crimson Guard for him as a third item? You're looking at Luna and Wraith King. A lot of little, bits of damage there that are easily blocked out by a Crimson Guard. You hate that idea?
Yeah, I do, Austin. That's a terrible idea.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Avery.
No problem. I was almost considering if he should go greedier because I think he's going to get a lot of farm in this game.
Go a Radiance of his own?
Yeah,
like a mid-Kunkka build?
I mean, maybe not Radiance, but it's pretty tempting because he's going to be big. He's going to get a lot of the lane farm priority because no one else wants to deal with these skeletons. So you got to turn that into something that can turn this game a lot in your favor. I think the Pipe's completely fine here, but after that, I think something, Shivas could be interesting.
Yeah.
It's not a bad
Shiva's
Halberd
build.
game either. Halberd versus the Luna is really strong, even if you go into that late game. Crimson is okay, but I just don't see the impact of a lot of the ores in this meta right now if you can't push with them and force objectives. And I think in theory, Betboom are going to be confident to do that with the BKB timing on the PA anyway.
This two-man move missed last time. Rematch, and he found him perfectly in the jungle. Great read by no one, seeing where the smoke broke and just having a good read of where exactly Save would be hiding to break the smoke at that distance.
It feels like Betboom are just getting sucked into Parivision's game right now. It had some early momentum, but it's just all it's turned into is Miro dealing with Skeleton's bottom. And they got that one blink play mid with the Slaughter, but that's kind of it.
Okay, but it is a Phantom Assassin with the Battle Fury. You're really that sad about the game stalling out. It's a Phantom Assassin Battle Fury super early, but also he's going to have some great synergy later on because you've got a Slaughter.
I mean, that's where I said I'm not worried about the early game or the late game for Betboom.
Nightglass is such a menace, man. It's just so unnecessary, but he's always able to get away for free, it seems like. He no longer has the bounce. Okay, he's not getting away for free this time around. All three cores of Betboom show up to this bottom lane because they wanted the Tormentor anyway. So the Slark added on top of that, that's just a cherry on top, honestly.
That is a shard Parivision would have really liked to get here between their two supports. Both very good shards.
And a good read being able to know that he put some sort of vision down there as well. So finding the ward as well.
That's also big.
Yeah.
Any of the D wards here are going to be nice for Betboom trying to fight against this Slark vision over the course of the game. And DB bottom river will be gobbled up by GPK. Nice Haroon find as well. Now you have some serious early Roshan potential in the next few minutes here, even if you win a fight. I will say the fact 9 class finished an entire Yules already on this Slark is pretty impressive. He found a decent amount of net worth here in a game where there's not much fight.
Miro runs up into his triangle and is immediately found out by Satanic and Ducalis. He returns a lot of damage back on a Parivision. Betboom, is there going to be any punish here? GPK is going to try. He's playing a little bit slow, right? Not immediately trying to run down no one, or maybe Ducalis in the back lines. They're going after Satanic on the left-hand side. He waits until the kill on Satanic is done, then he chases into the river after Ducalis and picks up that kill. Yeah, they got Miro, but it cost Parivision big time.
You have to just instant TP out of that play or completely bail in the same direction, sacrifice somebody else. That Luna was left at no man's land. You are definitely not happy with that exchange if you are Parivision, because you're going to lose your mid tower for it. This is really looking like Betboom's Roshan to take right now. Despite the lane pressure coming in from the Wraith King, if you can't just take the head-on fight, if that BKB arrives for the PA as fast as it's arriving right now, it's going to be easy pickings.
Yeah, they're looking at a double BKB plus Aura's timing here in about 7-8 minutes. Floridar's also going to go a BKB. The pipe is pretty much done. That being said, Parivision are getting to some of their big split pushing items. They have the Manta on the Luna, obviously, but the Radiance is now done for DM. It's a later one, 17.5 minutes, but it will do the job.
It's going to be a strong Radiance blade mail game for him. Not items the PA likes to deal with, especially when the BKB is down. It is going to be a strong frontline presence in that fight. And see if this prompts Parivision to group up a bit more or look for the fight instead of putting DM on lane duty. I would love this mid-tier 1 for free. It's very low. Little swing? Oh, why not? That's the easiest tower he's ever taken in his life.
Seriously, it was a lot easier than taking that safe lane tower. That one took forever. Shows up mid, instantly gets a tower. Betboom still up by a little bit of net worth despite the loss of new objectives.
Playing defensive right now because they want to finish this Phantom Assassin BKB. Yeah. So they're willing to give up a little space to hit that timing without giving up a bad fight, losing that Roshan potential.
I mean, they can probably fight without the BKB as long as they have the global silence, right?
Yeah, it's a big factor here.
And that'll be coming up in just a second or two.
Mobile's going to be nice versus the Depth Shroud this game. It's something that makes the support Slark really annoying to play against. Especially when you have these jump cores that have to commit onto a big frontline target. That guy gets Depth Shroud, the whole fight gets stalled for 3 or 4 seconds. Nothing you can really do about that Depth Shroud, but hey, you have global silence.
Yeah.
You got a pre-dark pack.
I mean, yeah, I was going to say, it'll be interesting to see how often he's able to pre-dark packed off the initial global silence. He's also got the Yules, so he does have multiple ways to be able to dispel the global silence, but even just giving a 1 or 2 second window for the PA, the damage comes quick and fast, man. Even just 2-second delay might be enough to lose the fight.
They're eyeing up the Wraith King mid. That would be a difficult target to jump right.
Yeah, I cannot imagine going into the shortest lane, 9 class. He's going to throw out the Yules to try and set up a go on GPK, but with the wheel going out, there's no way his cores can follow that up.
Dispels across the board here for Parivision. They're gearing up to negate a lot of the Slardar's impact. And then, like you said, if you negate the Corrosive Haze by dispelling on everybody, early Yules for no one, Yules the Dark Pack on the Slark, will be Manta for the Luna.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden you negate a lot of the Phantom Assassin's impact in that fight too.
Or even
needs to land.
Potentially offensively, right, dispelling that sprint.
Yeah, also really nice versus the Slardar in that regard. Though the shard is already up for GPK, but you have a little reapply action.
That's true. That's
just
true.
letting to play around. Parivision doing their usual dodge, little mode dodge.
They really, really like this mode. But I think Betboom answered it pretty well. A focus on the lanes while simultaneously having a hero, a meta hero that I think is pretty good at being able to deal with this Ghost Shove in the Kunkka.
They have some answers. I think they'd probably feel a little more comfortable if this Slardar was a Magnus right now.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, what are your late game team fight odds with a Magnus versus Slardar? I think we've definitely seen some games where this Slardar just doesn't have that 5-on-5 impact.
Yeah.
And he's taking up your mid laner slot too, right? Like, are you more confident going 5 or 6 slots on the Tiny versus 5 or 6 slots on the Slardar?
Yeah, probably the Tiny.
Yeah.
So Slardar's a very hit or miss, feast or famine kind of core going late game. can do a lot. You can get some of those later talents. We've even seen some of those like Octarine Crush builds when you get the level 25 talent. It just goes off like crazy.
Yeah, his 25 talents are quite good. I'll say that. He does have very good 25 talents. Which might sound silly that we're talking about those now, but I have the feeling this game is probably going to go late.
Yeah, it's a little bit of snoozer. 5-3, 21 minutes in, and a very even net worth. Seems like both teams are kind of comfortable with the way the game is going right now, but I think things are about to pick up, surely, right? We've got BKBs on both the enemy carries, right? BKB and Luna, BKB PA. The BKB is done for the Slardar as well. Like, surely, one team or the other is going to say, let's take just a full-on team fight.
I mean, the smoke's already coming in. This is just the tiny AA combination again, looking for a pickoff that would lead into something more. By the way, no one went 4-staff here. So this will not be a scaling tiny. This is a utility jump tiny.
This kill is just not it. He's got pipe, blade mail, essence ring. He does not go down easy. And now he's going to try and punish you.
Wait, what?
No follow-up to that X. Just got a reaction out of Parivision, I guess.
I mean, that was DM coming to fight, and no one says, no, go back to farming, man. You heard what the coach said. Get to the lanes.
And they find the opening on GPK. BKB, he gets it off before DM can land that Ray Fire Blast. Anyway, it's goodbye. GPK is back to the fountain. Parivision will own this side of the map, though, and they'll start taking some objectives. They start hitting the tier 2 of bottom lane.
Smart Betboom eyeing up this Raid King mid. They will land the X. Definitely burn a light through the blade mail.
Yeah, the team is on their way. So Betboom, they're going to take the kill and get out. At least for now, does not look like they want to try and kill him a second time here. Pure, though.
Well, dagger on no one. He can't blink right now.
Ooh, little follow-up dagger there. They've got the dagger duo, the Phantom Assassin and the Ringmaster, to keep lots of little bits of damage.
Betboom, I just smoke and I go to... I think I just forced the Roche. You saw the Luna top. So you just run everybody out of this area, and if no one is left standing, you do the Roche.
Yeah, anybody that you find some sort of kill in the triangle or something, fantastic. It's a 4 versus 5, 3 versus 5 effectively for the Roshan. But as they continue to struggle to find that opening, as the blink away from no one, now they miss their timing.
You do Roche, though. I think you have to.
Well, Luna's already back in town. She's pushed out the top lane. Now she's here in the triangle. So you don't have a numbers advantage.
Maybe you're worried about this A ult, which is being thrown right now.
And it's going to be used to try and pop the PA, but half HP should be fine. Still, though, got a little something out of Betboom. The global silence put to use. Did not have to use the BKB on Pure, though.
This is an awkward situation. Do you have enough HP? They're bottling up Pure now, expecting the fight.
But in that class, but already got off the Dark Pact. He's good for now. No one's going to jump in. After the Kunkka, tosses him in, into the Eclipse. Now the Blademel's going to return some of the damage, but Miro, he can't stand it at all. Beautiful wheel, though, with the boat on top of it. It's just a beautiful combination. They do have 9 class with the save on Satanic. That's a beautiful setup, and Kira's not too happy about the situation. Satanic lives. No, GPK goes back in and finishes them off. Luna inside the river is now gone. No one with a desperate TP way will barely make it out. The 723 damage of the crit was not enough to finish off the tanky Tiny. Kataomi will chase after Ducalis for a little bit. The team might be able to collect on this kill, or maybe they'll just say, this is space to take Roshan.
Back the PA, the Slaughter survive, and you find an amp damage top. Yeah, that is easy pickings on this Roche. That's not the fight you want to lose if you're Parivision. And man, what a wheel of wonder from Save. He just hit everybody perfectly in that closed river area. Even will come through, but it's too late here.
Yes,
you still
no
have damage.
Couldn't get inside the pit. Good force staff to get back to the high ground.
Yeah, that's not a fight you want to take. Parivision getting a little anxious for that fight. They take the Kunkka bait. I mean, Miro did not have the blade mail or the pipe available when he got tossed in there. The blade mail came up as he was on less than a third HP. So that was actually incredibly good timing there on the toss back to look for that. Still.
It still feels like fundamentally that's not the person you want to toss back, though.
Probably not. I mean, you can toss him back, poke him, and kind of disengage at the same time. I think bait maybe the global or some, you know, counterplay spells from Betboom.
Yeah.
And then look for a second round. I think that kind of play on the Kunkka is okay, but yeah, just tossing him back, committing on him. They used Eclipse, they used the BKB on the Luna. The PA and Slaughter are still surviving, then your Luna's going to be in some deep water.
Betboom doing a good job taking the objectives off cooldown here. He took the Tormentor really early. Remember, they got that kill on 9 class. Now they're going to take the second Tormentor right away. They got the first Roshan nice and early, which you've always said the first Roshan is kind of whatever, right? But it sets up the future Roshans. That's the important part.
You play these Slardar lineups, these lineups that want to take multiple Roshans in a game, Ursa Warrior in that same category. Get it done early so you can start getting to the second and third where you can really ramp up the pressure.
Very deep ward, lane ward in mid from Parivision. They were hoping for a pickoff. Betboom not giving it to them. Kataomi farming the way behind the tier 2 tower.
And this is where we will see just how strong Parivision's lane shove is, how strong their split push is. What I was trying to say with the itemization here on this Tiny is they've committed to just double carry between the Wraith King and the Luna. EM is building straight carry items on this Wraith King. He's going to take a lot of farm. He's going to try and pay it back with some damage, but this Tiny is not going to scale.
Okay.
He's going to scale, you know, spells-wise. I mean, he's the most broken hero in the history of the game. He will always do some crazy stuff, but he's not going to right-click hard. But in theory, he could be able to kite out some of these later fights easier than you would if all 3 cores were just completely hard scaling. Parivision say there's not enough farm on the map for everybody. And you got a Slark in there as well.
Yeah, that is true. That is actually their 3rd core. It's not no one. No one's the 4 position in this place. We've already seen his comments about what he feels about the mid lane, what the role is like right now.
Yeah, this is an item build that I feel like I saw on Jerax when he won his TI on support Tiny. So
yeah, true.
I don't know if no one's too happy about being forced in this situation, but you know, his Slark's building Shadowblade, Austin. I'm sure he'll pay it back.
Catching Betboom, 3 of them here in the top part of the map. They went through the gate, set this up, but GPK has already gone up his BKB and he's making a run for it. No one, he does have the speed perhaps to catch one of these heroes on the way out. Looks like it's probably going to be safe. He puts himself in the box, tries to get out, but he's going to die. And that's acceptable, I think, for Betboom. With that kind of big move from Parivision, only netting a support kill, there's still plenty of time to reset and take a better fight around the Aegis on Pure.
Still got 2 minutes left here, and you still have a lot of room to work with. Just a move that caught them off guard, I think. Again, you're not trying to get too many objectives with this first Aegis anyway. Get head on 5 is pretty difficult to get with how Parivision play the map.
I mean, tick-tock, Avery. It's 28 minutes. You said the mid-game is the scary part for Betboom. Feel like Parivision is running out of time. Am I crazy? I understand that the Wraith King is scaling, but come on, it's a Wraith King against a Phantom Assassin with a Slardar backing him up.
You have 3 carries and a Tiny.
I refuse to believe that their game plan is 9 class becoming a 3rd carry in this game.
It might be. He is just starting to farm. I think you can always win late game with any chat portion, though. That's kind of the scary part.
That's true.
Like,
yeah.
It's really, you know, this Giga Chat PA carry is strong, but part of it is you can get a Satanic later, and you eliminate some of your ability to just man up with Satanic in the fight if that blast ever lands on you.
Yes.
It's one of the big components of this hero and why it's been winning so much at this event.
I suppose no matter how fat the PA gets, she can always be tossed back
100%.
into a Wraithfire Blast
100%.
and an Ice Blast, and you're just dead.
And then that fight's over. There is no other late game damage in this Betboom lineup.
Right. 35 seconds left on the Aegis. Betboom clearly want to make a move, but as is classic for many teams against Parivision, they will not find a hero to go on. Parivision are scuttled all around the map. They're on the sides of the map. They're pushing in the other lanes through their illusions, through their Wraith King skeletons.
And Pure is going Satanic, however, he just lost his courier on the shop to the Slark.
Oh, that's
9 class being
awkward.
Incredibly annoying, so he's going to be missing out on a lot of that value here in the next few minutes.
Gonna jump onto a shield room, Tiny. Not advisable, GPK. He's gonna get Yules. Brent is gonna be on cooldown for a little bit. He has to use the BKB. Meanwhile, Miro came in from behind, an awkward position. He's gonna try and push in DM. Pure's gonna jump after the Wraith King. Again, not sure if you want to make these targets. Pure, he didn't use his BKB for it though, so it was just a bit of a poke. They do manage to reset. No one's looking for a punish. He thought maybe somebody was TPing up on the high ground. Force Staffs himself looks for the avalanche stop. Nobody's there. Betboom, I'm just run away. No TPs, no risk.
That was the tail end of their Aegis. They did not get a fight out of it. In fact, they gained almost nothing.
200 gold. Congratulations, Betboom. A successful Aegis power play.
A massive strategic win for them. I mean, in some ways, it's not that bad because, again, I do think that mid game could have been more challenging for them in some ways.
Well, this is going to be the toughest part, right? You don't have that Aegis, Parivision. You're just going to be full on aggression, I would imagine.
They have a really strong power point right now with this butterfly on Satanic.
Yeah, it's going to be a while until Pure can answer that, particularly considering the Satanic build.
Shadowblade is arriving for this Slark very shortly as well, Austin.
Why do you put that so dramatically?
I just think it's awesome, you know? Yule's Shadowblade. Like, he considered being a support.
Kids, don't try this at home,
And then
please.
his pub instincts took over.
Leave this to the professionals, please.
I can
Only
see
9
it
class.
being pretty annoying this game for the supports on Betboom's side. Shadowblade is a good item for Silencer.
Look at that. Sure.
You drain his economy with sentries. He can't get to the late game refresher.
Oh no. That homie is not doing padded farm whatsoever.
Look at him, just so aggressive.
he runs past Pure to threaten Kataomi. Can't even hit Pure. Even though he does have the serrated shiv, so I guess he can hit Pure. He's got a little bit of true strike action, 20%.
You know, I have talked previously about how these inter-regional matchups can get a little weird sometimes.
Yes, yes. Being from NA Dota.
Ours were just trash. There's a difference.
Okay, okay.
This game is, I think, in weird territory now. Like, this is an extremely defensive game from both teams. You just don't want to make a mistake.
Oh, Pure, he knows that 9 class is here. His blur instantly dispelling.
At some point, though, you are going to have to take a risk to win this game.
Wait, who's gonna have to take a risk?
I'll let you decide.
Okay.
Anybody at this point.
Somebody please take a risk.
There's only so many waves you can kill with Manta Illusions. Somebody starts to break.
9 class gonna run into a
There's no detection.
gem, surely.
Where's the detection?
No one. He's gonna find the opening for a toss back here. GPK, he pops his BKB, crushes and runs away. They're gonna go for the tiny, manage to push him back in with a tidal wave. They're gonna follow it up with the wheel. He's somehow managed to force that through that. They still have the X on him. They're committing so much to be able to kill this tiny, and they might be able to get it. No, the save comes out for the startup. Sure, the tiny's dead now, but Betboom have expended so much for it, and Kataomi was the death for it. Miro, he managed to push to call us down to low ground, but Pure's not sure whether or not he can commit to this one or not. He's got his Satanic, he's got his BKB, he's got to put it to use now up against Satanic himself. He turns back around with the lifesteal, big heal up. Satanic trying to draw this out as the BKB and the Satanic are wearing thin. He's going to try and make a run for it, but he can't make it. Bashed up by GPK. A turnaround with DM with a brief stun, but it's all not good enough. Betboom and their defensive posture will hold strong here. Parivision, they make their jump, they make their initiation, they make their big mid-game move, and it all results in nothing.
The irony of it is they didn't even get the lanes in first. Their coach is gonna have something to say after that fight. It's just a head-on 5-on-5, but the initiation's not clean enough, and your Wraith King spent that entire fight chasing supports. DM was just trying to kill Save for 30 seconds, chasing this Ringmaster around, getting Ringmastered around the river, and it ends up just being a numbers fight. The Slardar and the PA get on top of the Luna, and they have the overwhelming damage because that Wraith King's nowhere nearby.
Did he ever funhouse mirror
No, it wasn't that. It was
the
not that
Refire
crazy,
Blast?
but
No, okay.
I mean, this guy's got Glimmer Cape, he's got Escape Act. It takes a while to bring him down. Gale Guard on top of it. Save just wasted so much of his time. And ultimately, another big deal is that A Blast does not land on the PA when the Satanic is, you know, being activated. That's what gives you the second breath of life there if you're Pure. That's why these small interactions for Parivision in the fight are really important, and why the first target you toss back, you need to make sure there's enough threat there so you force Betboom to commit more than they had to, because Pure did not have to pop BKB. He did not have to pop Satanic in the first half of that fight, and that's a huge deal. He does not win the man fight against Luna later on if he has to use those early.
Oh, got baited by an illusion. Didn't show himself, though. But I do think that Parivision kind of saw what was going on there.
Are losing their Wisdom Shrine right now. 9 class,
They do.
as ever. Going Silver Edge.
He's level 16 and he's going a Silver Edge.
He can break some heroes here, I guess. Very expensive support item.
I think this matchup is really fun because we've had high praise for both the 4 positions of Parivision.
They just ran into Pure.
They did, and once again, Pure is going to hit some illusions here. They're going to deal with the wards. The illusion's doing some work here. David Beast pushing back. No one, he blinks in, but right after the whip came through, a stun goes out, but Pure he dodges the unsplash, and now he can use the BKB if he wants to. He managed to run out of the cold feet. No, he actually does get stunned, but it doesn't matter. Satanic is outside of the range. 9 class trying to protect. Oh, nice using the Gold Scepter and a blink away. No one gets the low ground, but he got hit. Save with a jump in from GPK. Oh, they just wipe him out. He is gone in an instant. He just flat out disappeared. GPK put the crush on him, and Satanic walloped him.
4 hits from the PA, that's all it takes. You are gone. No dispel on that corrosive haze. You are out of the game, and that is a fight right around the pit. Instant efficiency here for Betboom. Look at another Aegis on the Pure, and this is an Aegis potentially used to end this game. You get another couple fights going for you. You get one near Parivision's base. None of that lane shove will make a damn difference here. Your throne just gets exposed. Jump was solid there for no one. But ultimately, the fact that A Blast does not land on that PA makes you very wary to commit to that kind of fight. And the Ags on this Kunkka stalling you up on that stairway was diabolical. No one can run through this thing.
Feels like twice now, Parivision, the setup for the fight is inherently bad. You said the first team fight, like, they actually didn't have the split push that they typically, that's kind of what their signature move is, split push enough that you have some sort of numbers advantage, and then they take that team fight. They didn't do that first round, and then the second round, fighting into a funnel like that against a Kunkka just feels
going
wrong.
up the high ground too. Feels like they need to abuse their vision mechanics better. Like, you need to get some value out of this slug. He is finding some vision, he's finding some openings, but that's where you have to look for that toss back, instant force staff out, take the fight on your terms, and not just bulldoze into them. Abuse the Manta illusions, abuse the skeletons, force Betboom into awkward situations where they're unsure of who to commit on, and if the lanes are good for them.
Well, I'm not sure if I want to risk my third carry scouting out like
True, yeah. Someone's gonna have to go in.
Well, so far, it's been no one, time and time again. Unfortunately, his jump, it just seems like it's not enough setup for the Ice Blast.
Well, it just doesn't do any damage on its own.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the Echo Saber, he doesn't have the Harpoon follow. Like, Tiny's not a threat, he's just setup. The other cores can't follow him up that fast. There's no Blink Dagger on the Wraith King, there's no Blink on this Luna. Thinking about Blink Dagger now on the Wraith King, and Blink Dagger on the A, another big component here. If you can get a Blink on Ducalis, you can just blink in A, ult the guy instantly. That tiny jump is a lot more threatening.
Supports on both sides, trying to be as elusive as possible. Save with his Blink Dagger. Blink Dagger coming in for Parivision, and Slark being Slark.
It's been annoying this game.
Oh, there's an interesting idea. Double Pyrrhic Cloaks for Parivision. What happens if they put that onto this Phantom Assassin, caught 9 class, trying to cut the midway, dual scepter onto GPK, gives 9 class an opening here. He dodges away through the trees. Betboom have lost sight of him. He is away and free.
I don't even know if you want to chase this guy right now. Bigger fish to fry.
He is pretty small.
The rat game continues. It can always continue in this game.
It's true.
As another courier goes down.
Insult added to injury when you fail to kill 9 class, and he sticks around just to kill your courier. King gonna maybe die here underneath the tier 2. Pure, again, he is being very careful not to commit his BKB until it feels like the fight is won off of this one. He's gonna get hit by the Ice Blast though. Got stunned up and he fall up to it. Not really. He still has the age to work with after all, trying to get away from Satanic. Satanic, not sure who he wants to go on. He goes for the silencer, spots him, runs after some of the others. No, he backs away to the tier 2. He says this fight, it's not looking the best for us right now, boys. 9 class, he gets jumped for a second there by GPK. Pure going back in, spots the end, finally takes out that Wraith King's first life. Now for the second one, pushed back by the Torrent. And stuck inside the X. He's really not going anywhere, but they do manage to bring down the Phantom Assassin's first life. And Miro, his BKB is going to be on cooldown. GM, dodge a little bit there with the Lucents, and Pure's not going to have anything. Toss up in the air, almost finished off. Does manage to get him inside the box. It's not quite enough. Doesn't lock him down. He manages to jump. Where's the stun? Take the beast. What a timing from Save! Absolutely beautiful. It will cost him his own life, but saving the carry of the utmost important to Betboom.
This is the hero you have to keep alive in this game. He had a 7-0 streak as well. So let Pure farm. That is your consolation prize, though, is it's a terribly lost fight around that tier 2. You had Aegis, you had 2 lives on Pure. But again, the BKB and the Satanic got committed early in that engagement, and he comes back in his second life. He has nothing. No way to commit to this fight. And it's just a really tough position. This also goes back to who did you start this fight on? You started on the Wraith King. You throw a Wheel of Wonder on this Wraith King. Why? This is not the guy you want to go on. He's not easy to bring down.
Yeah, I'm kind of okay with pure jumping, but why the Wheel of Wonder?
I just don't even think you really want to jump him. If you want to throw daggers out, if you want to blink on him and back up, sure, but he has Blade Mail, he has the Pyrrhic Cloak. You can't hit him for free. That's the problem. You have to commit the BKB of the Satanic to hit him. If you want to do that, I don't think you do. I don't think the fight setup's good if you commit either of those, so you kind of have to pick a different target.
Call it the Wheel of Wonder why he threw it there. 15-10, 41 minutes in, and we're back to an even net worth game. Love Nolan's build, Octarine, Wind Waker. Just really only magic damage, but frankly, just a lot of stuns, a lot of ways for him to jump in, get the toss back, and then he can Wind Waker or Ogre Seal Totem his way out of there.
It's a really annoying
Ghost Scepter.
Really annoying build to play against. Especially if you can finish up, you know, if he goes E-Blade, that would be amazing. If you can get to the 25 for the Avalanche cooldown or toss charges, that's when this build really goes ballistic. He will start to deal a lot of magic damage. He does have that crash landing. You always have to keep that in mind.
Sure.
You need Nullifier, and it will arrive here for the PA.
Yes, sir.
That is the biggest item they can get right now, because this is an item that will let you go on no one and just commit on him. It removes 3 of his big 4 items right now. The Ghost Up to the Force Staff, the Wind Waker. You're not getting a lot of saves off on this hero. You can Depth Shroud him, though. That is the upside here for Parivision. You can always Depth Shroud who gets jumped.
Your hit is level 25. Hasn't leveled up the talent tree just yet. I figured with the Nullifier he was going to go for the right one, -1 attacks, but maybe he feels like the fight is going on so long that the triple dagger would be better for it.
Triple dagger is also interesting with the Slaughter amps. Depends how much you think you can just keep them on people.
Sure.
Or if you go for this undispellable corrosive haze, which seems tempting this game when you're playing against, you know, Slark, a bunch of Manta heroes.
100%. You go the undispellable.
This is the game for that talent. We do see players take the other talent because, you know, okay, it's undispellable, but if you just keep reapplying it every 3 seconds, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean,
frankly, leave that other talent for when you get 30, because I feel like you're probably getting 30 in this game.
It may come that way.
Another shard save, almost dying to the burst damage of the Tormentor, but a shard, Fan of Knives for Pure, so we're going to see a bit of break mechanic. Nothing too major that he's really breaking in this game, though.
It did take the -1 attacks. Standard talent here for Pure. Not going to gamble on any crazy dagger hits, but does have that Nemesis Curse, finished up the Abyssal. He's peaking right now. I mean, he's running out of slots, so kind of have to get the fight going if you want to use his net worth advantage right now versus 3.5/4 carries Parivision are building up.
Yeah, I mean, with the Nullifier on 9 class, he's getting there. He's almost level 20.
He is becoming a threat. This is really annoying for the backline of Betboom. If you get jumped on by this Slark and you get nullified on either of these supports, what do you do in that situation? Are you just backing up completely from the fight and abandoning your cores? Are you just trying to persist through it?
Yeah.
Very obnoxious.
What's annoying for me is the fact that the team who has played more defensively has walked away with the team fight win. Which I feel like is teaching these teams a lesson we don't want to teach them, which is just at no cost you ever start the fight yourself.
I mean, I will point you to, what was it, 2016, 2017 era Team Secret, which sat on their hill for every game until you ran into them and then they won.
That was their special technique. Sit on a high ground.
Man. Sometimes it works.
It's amazing how far ahead they were of other teams by that one simple trick.
Meta defining.
Spirit did, they adopted some of that. They said, why don't we just always fight around high ground vision?
Yeah, but the thing about Spirit is they always fall like 30K behind, so then it's exciting when
that's true.
When you're defending your map from a head position, it's not as exciting. There's a little bit of a difference.
That was the part. Deep Secret, they would just take over the map, and then they would sit on your triangle and just wait for you. And like, they got to come up here someday.
The items are rolling in. There's going to be a fight very soon here. You have Blink on the Wraith King. They're going to put DM in first because they know this is not a target you want to go on with that Blade Mail here at Cloak. And BKB done for no one, so he can also commit into the fight. Blink done for the AA as well. A lot of these items that we were mentioning in terms of bringing that team fight jump together are online for Parivision right now.
I can't believe Steve shows himself there. He blinks away before no one can get the initiation. He has to Wind Waker back. The global sound's going to be put to use as DM. He jumps in. But Betboom, they do manage to get him. DM is going to be dropped down up on the ground, and DM is finding himself a bit kited right now. No one's going to go back and hits an avalanche onto 3. That's pretty nice. Has to go Scepter, though. The threat of GPK is too much to handle, and DM falls the first time around. Still holding on to that Ice Blast. The Wheel of Wonder separating the rest of the team from DM so they can all in on the Wraith King with no interference from that pesky no one Tiny.
Didn't even have to commit the Phantom Assassin there. Just died to all the spell damage and the Kunkka Slardar hitting him. Parivision, no answer in sight. They just bail on that fight.
Losing their 4 position and their offlaner wasn't the worst loss for Parivision, but it is enough for Betboom to feel very comfortable about controlling the middle part of the map, which leads to a 3rd Roshan for them. Perhaps it just needs to spawn a little faster.
They're looking for the Ags on save as well. Well, escape actor would be nice. You do have to remember the Nullifier will instant dispel these, but having 2 is a huge deal in this game. Hex on the Kunkka also a huge deal. You can throw that Hex on the Tiny when he blinks in before BKB. Could be massive. And an amp damage for Pure. This is massive. You're looking towards this next Roche. If it is a late spawn,
we're just a second away or 2.
I think the Wraith King timer's too long here, no matter what.
Yeah. 40 seconds left, and he still would not have reincarnation for a little bit as well.
I think this game might get to a point where Parivision has to commit everybody in the same jump, and that means Swift Blink for the Luna. Just blink everybody in and go with the stuns and claim whoever you can and just have faith it's enough in the fight, because I think you're going to get kited out. And at some point, this PA Slaughter will find someone. And the second they find somebody and make it a 5-on-4, that team fight looks really difficult.
Might just be able to find 9 class here. Dark Pack going off into the trees, and he does a really good, nice use of that Eul's time and time again against the GPK Slardar, offensively using it against him and allowing disengage. Parivision back to their old ways. A little bit of rat split pushing.
All right, level 25 though, Austin. Level 25 available for GPK. He does take the Undispellable Haze. This is a massive talent. Absolutely huge for what Parivision want to do, because now it makes it way harder to initiate, not find a target, and get out of that exchange. You're going to get hunted. These daggers are going to be coming non-stop. The X marks are going to be coming non-stop. The vision is just huge here.
He shows up to a fight, you lose 25 armor against a Phantom Assassin. That is spooky.
Yeah, that is a lot. Also, if you just randomly land this crush on the Slark, huge.
That is true, actually.
You just nullify him, he's dead. There's nothing he can do. You have to get the ult of the Dark Pact off. I don't have time to click it as Pure eyeing up Divine Rapier as well. If he gets another courier, that would be very good for the crowd.
He's been reading a lot of the movements from Betboom. Is he going to be able to see this move? Mass TPs to the other side of the map. He breaks the smoke on the Kataomi, but it might come, the information might come a little bit too late for Satanic.
Shove is superior.
EPK, maybe, yeah, he's going to get caught on the gate thanks to that very, very deep ward on the corner of the map by Betboom.
You know, Ducals, they were scanning the other side of that gate. It hit red. Pure was waiting for him. So he didn't really have a good choice there. You know? Hey, on that side, die to Slardar, go through the gate, get one shot by Phantom Assassin.
I feel like trapped like a rat is a fitting phrase for that.
They're looking bottom. I mean, this is a time where with this Aegis, you just jump anything, I think. Not be afraid of making aggressive plays right now.
Which is why Parivision are not showing anything. Noble Hero is showing on a wave ever. It's only illusions. It's almost a half second of Tiny throwing a bunch of spells. It's only skeletons. They know any hero that shows on the map, if it gets jumped by GPK or Pure, their life is probably forfeit.
There's a lot of gold on the side of Parivision as well. They're holding, what, a combined almost 15,000 gold between the 3 cores? Some of that's saving buyback, but some of it is just money in the bank doing nothing.
Dave with his Aghanim Scepter, his Blink Dagger, Aether Lens, he's got a lot of good ways to be able to use this escape act, and that's going to be the dangerous part because Parivision, they have to all in a hero when it shows, when they choose to go for it, and DM with his Blade Mail is all ready to go lose his first life, but it looks like Pure, that's going to be the Aegis. Parivision setting up for the next one. Wheel of Wonder is going to be put to use though. That's going to allow Pure an opening here. He's going to pop his BKB and all in commit. No one, he's out of this fight.
That was so fast.
The Tiny is absolutely nothing to this Phantom Assassin, especially with this kind of build. The Tidal Wave not quite catching the Luna. Miro trying to get tricky with it, trying to pull that Luna out of the base.
I mean, somewhere Ice Frog is smiling right now with the armor nerfs to this hero.
That is true.
I did my job.
You would maybe disagree with them on that, but maybe we're going to watch a Tiny lose for once.
It's one armor patch nurse. Never underestimate.
Level 20 on the silencer. AoE won the last word. Save win for the Tame the Beast damage, which I almost wonder is more of a farming mechanism for him, given that this is a 51-minute game.
You drop the banner here, and Refresher arrives from Pure, so that's what's giving him the confidence to go for this right now. You have another BKB up your sleeve.
Got the X onto Luna. And it feels like he has to respond. But they jump onto Luna. Nullifier's going to be committed. They got the Ice Blast. That sums up Pure. Pure in a bit of trouble now. Action Cup wages instantly. BKB, TP out, and they actually have nothing to stop that.
They need an Abyssal on the Slark, Austin.
They really do. Night Class, where's your Abyssal, man?
They're just instantly, I mean, they get the Tiny buyback. They made the call. That's what they want there. Instantly out. Refresher committed for Pure. Does have that second BKB to get him out of trouble. And now we likely wait for that cooldown. You might not like that, but I think it is the correct play. As you gear up for the next Roshan, 3 minutes. Did you use the Refresher shard? You did.
Is an Eastern European derby going to come down to who can perform the Nightfall better?
I hope not.
Because that's what Betboom...
I really hope not.
Betboom, they obviously have a huge advantage. Parivision, they don't have anything to be able to stop this for quite some time. BKB, TP out. If you ever get hit by that Ice Blast, that's Pure's escape plan.
It's a nice illusion room for this Luna. Really good hero to get this on. Not that they need more go shove on this map, but
that go shove is pushed in both the mid and bottom wave, and Parivision, oh, Katomi, he sees the ward, he deals with it, and 4 stats away. I can't believe he manned up to take that ward out.
Does that buyback available?
I guess so, yeah.
Honestly, he's probably thinking, you know what, if no one jumps me, my team's gonna get him. Like, I have confidence that they're gonna stun him or get him on the 4-step out, whereas I have buyback anyway, and he does not. That's a very risky play for the Tiny to go for.
Yeah, that is true. How much longer till Roche? All right, 2 more minutes. So we got probably guaranteed downtime of about 2.5 minutes here, where both teams are going to farm up their next round of items, like an Aghanim's Blessing for Satanic. That he's 6-slotted. There's nowhere else to go. He has to keep his Manta. He needs the Disjoint. He needs the Ghost Shove.
I mean, pretty much everybody's slotted here.
A
little bit.
What is this?
He's not really building any stacks.
No, he's not. And if the Slardar was here, he's just going to die. Yule Scepter goes off, and Shadow Blade is not going to go up in time. Well, that's hiding on the Torrent. That's a free gem for Betboom. Why?
I know I can trust you guys.
That class finally gets so bored. He's like, guys, I'm just going to hit Pure and see what happens.
Probably. Honestly. He just wants to hit somebody. He's playing Slark for 50 minutes. He's built no stacks.
That's true. I feel like he's hit more couriers than he has heroes.
That is probably true. I don't know what his hero damage is right now. And it might not exist. We might never know what his hero damage is in this game.
7.5.
Yeah, I mean, it's not up there.
There was a bit of a delay because production had to make sure it wasn't bugged. We're like, 7,500, is that real?
Half of that was the couriers.
Betboom, up to the high ground. They're going to go all in on the PA. They hit the Rain Fire Blast, but there's the escape back from Save. Giving Pure an out here. Pops a BKB, and he managed to blink strike himself away. Parivision, do they really want to chase this one? They're going to try. TPK gets hit up by his stun. Follow-up avalanche there for a second. Team they beat. Pushing back some of these heroes of Parivision away from the mark, which was TPK. Now Pure, he got hit again by the Ice Blast. In trouble. BKB activated a little bit of damage. He would finally die. They escape back. Is they really going to hit the wheel? No, he finally goes down, but what a torrent! Miro comes in high with a big boom of a torrent that hits on 3, takes 2 out permanently, and now the rest of the fight may be won without Pure as he finally comes in to finish off that Wraith King on his second life. He buys back, gets the Wraith King down on the Reincarnation. It's up to Satanic. He's going to have to pull this off because DM is certainly not going to be a help. He's going to be hunted down by Pure. It's all up to the kid. 1 versus 5. 3 heroes right now, but a 4th and a big coming in soon, and it's all over. He calls it before he hits the deck. patient Betboom.
I mean, patience is a virtue, and they certainly showed it off here. Maybe this team from a year or two back would have gotten impatient, trying to force the issue. They know how Parivision wants to play these games. They know that at some point they're